So behind me is the Peshawar Museum. It's a really good place to visit. It houses some fantastic artifacts from the Gandharan Buddhist period, which ruled the region from about the 1st to the 8th century AD. It also has some really good relics from Nuristan and the Kailash. So behind me is the old Khyber steam train. This used to run up from Peshawar all the way to the Afghan frontier. And in fact, when I first started running trips to Pakistan, it was running as a commercial operation for tourists. And every other Sunday, it used to run from here all the way to a place called Minchni Post, which is right on the Afghan frontier. And we used to take our groups up there. Sadly, it hasn't been running for quite a few years, and one wonders if it will ever run again. But I hope so, because it was a great experience. So behind me is the beautiful Mohabbat Khan Mosque. It was built between 1660 and 1670 and is one of the most stunning mosques in the whole of Pakistan, particularly the interior, which has some fantastic engravings all over the walls. It was rather sadly during the Sikh times used for different purposes. The minarets were used to hang prisoners of. They used to hang about 5 a day, which is rather a sad story. But today it represents one of Peshawar's best sites and well worth a visit. So I'm now in Kisakwani Bazaar, the famous Storytellers Bazaar, so called because it was here that the caravans that would come down from the mountains through the Khyber Pass and Kabul behind me would come down here and meet the other caravans coming up from the Indian subcontinent. They would meet, they would chat, they would tell their stories, and hence it became known as the Storytellers Bazaar. It's still an incredibly lively, chaotic, manic sort of a place that carries just that tiny little edge of danger. So this is the famous Cunningham Clock Tower that was presented to the town of Peshawar in 1900 in commemoration of Queen Victoria's Diamond Jubilee, which is quite apt considering this week in Britain we are celebrating Queen Elizabeth's Platinum Jubilee. Here in Kisakwani you can see some of the beautiful old Havelis. Of course, they're not looking quite so beautiful anymore, but you can imagine what these must have been like in the 19th and even 18th centuries. So this is inside the beautiful Sethi house. It's one of the most fantastic old Havelis in the whole of the subcontinent. And it just happens to be a little treasure trove found in Peshawar. So few people ever get to see it. So what you can see behind me is the famous old Khan Club. This was the place to stay in the latter part of the 90s and the early 2000s. It was really Pakistan's only true boutique hotel right in the heart of Peshawar Old Town. I was actually given the chance to buy a 20-year lease on this place for £20,000 in August of 2001. We all know what happened in September of that year, so it was very sadly a bullet well dodged.